Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I am Peter, that is Tim. We talk about, well, horror TV, but we're working our way through Tales from the Crypt right now, to just butcher my intro completely. But yeah, so this is going to be Season 5, Episode 6. This is called 2 for the show, so full spoilers for the episode, as per usual. And we have an episode here about a husband who, in a fit of rage, when she tries to leave him, murders his wife. And then the episode largely revolves around him trying to cover it up, and a police officer who seems very interested and thinks he's suspicious and is kind of tailing him and watching what he does. We have a lot of him trying to conceal the body, hiding it in like a trunk and cleaning up the crime scene, all that kind of stuff. That's the gist of the episode. And he tries to flee to Chicago. Or actually, he doesn't actually try to flee to Chicago. He tries to just put the trunk with his wife in it to Chicago without his name in the hopes that it'll just get lost in the system. But the police officer's there and is like, oh, I'll walk you to your train since you're going as well. And he ends up being roped along on this trip to Chicago with this police officer. And that's kind of the plot of the episode. And of course there's a twist and there's a reveal and there's all these things. And that's the episode. So, Tim.
Yeah.
I always ask it. You know what's coming. Did you enjoy 2 for the show?
You know, I was a little worried at first because we start off with a married couple and there's an affair and it's like, oh no, not another. Usually the affair episodes I'm not too crazy about, but that's kind of over and done with quickly, and it's obviously about something else. And I actually did quite enjoy this episode. It's not amazing, it's not like the best episode, but I think it's definitely better than the last couple we've had this season. And I thought it was fun. It was easy story, but I don't know, it flew by. I liked the actors and the characters, and honestly, I didn't really kind of see the final reveals happening. I was like there was some stuff that I kind of guessed, but then there's also some stuff that I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. So I thought
one part of the reveal is so goddamn obvious the entire time. It's like easy. As soon as you see the other characters, it's like, okay, I guess who that is. I bet that's who she was having the affair with, this cop. Like, you guess that like so early on. It's like painfully obvious the entire time. There is another element to the twist though when it hits that it's a little contrived. Like, you have to kind of you have to overlook some plot details maybe, or logistic things to make it work in your head. But it is a nice surprise, and it kind of works, and it's like, okay. I thought it was an okay episode. I like some of the fun of trying to conceal the murder, and the husband getting kind of like twitchy and trying to like cover up what he was talking about or doing at any point. There was some fun stuff to be had. I think ultimately it's it's not a bad episode. It's not a great episode. It's kind of one that is fine. It's serviceable and has some fun moments along the way. Which, given the caliber of this season so far, is like, a shining example. It's like, oh yes, light at the end of the tunnel, please give us some okay episodes.
Yeah, I think it's just a pretty okay episode that seems kind of elevated due to the fact that we've had some real stinkers over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's fun, and I like that. Things kind of keep going wrong and escalating for this person who, is like a piece of shit, because the opening scene we see him murder his wife. So we definitely want him to get caught. And I like that.
Even before he murders her, he's not paying attention to her. She's like, she's trying to tell him she's leaving him, and he just keeps going on about his work and how she has to come to this thing on Saturday because it's like a social gathering for his work and it's really important. And he's like, you need to try and be more sociable, honey. I'll even write down a list of things you can talk about. Like that's what he's like. And then he kills her when she tries to leave him. So he's a scumbag. He's a weasel. So you never feel bad when anything happens to him. Yeah, but hey, there's a thing. So. The whole big twist then. So throughout the episode, the police officer's tailing him and keeps running into him, and he's on the train with him, and it's like, okay, so he's obviously the one who having an affair with, which actually turns out to be incorrect. So they actually do swerve us, right? Because you're thinking the whole time he's going to be the one she's having the affair with, and the big twist is that it's actually his wife that Andy's wife was having the affair with. And the big swerve at the end is that, so Andy had her cut up body in his trunk. When he finds out, because the cop tells him all this thing. Oh, the FBI are going to sweep the train because we have a drug runner on the train, so we're going to look through all the bags. So he goes to the baggage, the carriage, and he throws off the trunk, right? And he puts his tag on another person's trunk that looks like his. The idea being, oh, we have to look through his trunk with his tag on it. It'll just be like clothes and shit. Blah 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 blah. All fine. When the cop actually sort of confesses that he's there to hunt him, and he goes to the baggage with this other couple of officers or two, and we get to the trunk, and they open it, and there's a dead body. And he's like, hey, wait a minute, that can't be right. And he basically confesses to the crime. He's like, no, this can't be right. I threw my wife's body off the train. Yeah. This isn't my wife. And then the guy's like, no, it's my wife. You killed my wife because she was having an affair with your wife. And I went, oh, okay, all right, okay. I didn't see that coming. Like, it worked well enough. It's especially set up okay because there's a conversation earlier on where, and you think he's just saying it because he wants to try and like poke at Andy and get him to confess. And he's like, hey, if you wanted to kill your wife, how would you do it? And it's sort of hinted at earlier on he's not in a great place with his wife, that he's having his own troubles with his wife. So basically the twist is that the cop has killed his wife and he's manipulated everything so that Andy will take the fall for the murder. As well as his own wife's murder. Although that said, he disposes of his Andy's wife's body. He's putting her in the garbage disposal at the end of the episode. So maybe that'll never even come up. That's the thing.
I'm curious as to when the cop like realized that he could do this. I guess was it after?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even before you get to the like, okay, he has to know that he's killed his wife so that he can kill his own wife and then use it as a cover. I think even forgetting that, how coincidental does it have to be that when Andy like throws his bag off the train, right, that he puts his tag on the right bag, on the cop's bag.
Yeah, that's like a little bit of a stretch where it's like, all right, yeah, a lot of things have to be moving like perfectly in place here for this to happen.
There's a lot of contrivances and actually setting up the twist. The twist itself works fairly well, though. I think, and I think the reason why it works is because throughout the whole episode, you are convinced it's like him who's cheated on, like that she's having the affair with him. You're thinking that the entire episode. So when it turns out no, it's actually his wife, and he's killed his own wife as a result of said affair, and like so it actually kind of works in the sense that you think you've got it figured out the entire episode. Like you're almost looking down on it, thinking, "Oh, this is a shit episode because I've figured it out."
Yeah.
And then it sort of swerves you, and you're like, "Oh, okay, all right, you were a step ahead of me." Okay, because I think it's almost a criticism of the show is that sometimes you do get twists that are as obvious as that is, and it turns out to just be exactly that. That you actually lull yourself into this false sense of security where you think, "Oh no, I figured it out. It's fine." Like,
yeah,
Tales from the Crypt can't outsmart me.
Yeah, but every now and again, they'll throw you like a little curveball. And I don't know. I just like the I thought it was fun, like the escalation between like what keeps happening with this guy. Like first he thinks like, oh, I'm just gonna put all our stuff on the train and then I'll be home scot-free, and then the cop shows up at the train station and is like, like, god damn it. And then all right, well, I'll get on the train, and then that'll be it. And then of course the cop sits next to him and starts talking to him. It's like, god damn it.
Because he even thinks when he's at the train station, he thinks he can just pretend he's getting on the train and then leave. And he's like, no, I'll walk you to your train. Like, it keeps happening where he keeps trying to weasel out of it, and he keeps having to just go one step further. Do you know what I thought was weird? I kept thinking during this whole section that, well, eventually someone's going to ask him for a ticket, and he's not going to have one because he was never intending on getting in the train.
And I assume that he bought a ticket, because I assume that for having to put the bags and stuff on there that you would need a ticket.
I don't know, because you don't see him actually have to show him, because he goes up to the guy who's taking the bags and he's like, oh, can I check this in for this? Maybe you do have to have a ticket for that. I thought his whole plan was to sort of put the bag in without like having the ticket, and that'd be
maybe
even less traceable to him, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Honestly, I
could be wrong.
Really read road trains too much, so I'm not sure exactly how it
Well,
works.
I've ridden a lot of trains. I've never had to like check in a bag.
Yeah.
For a train.
But yeah, either way. But and it didn't sound like a horrible plan. Like yeah, because if he's able to throw the luggage and stuff
Oh,
on
I don't know.
there, then
I've got a hole in the plan, Tim.
what's that?
If anyone ever looks inside that trunk, they're going to ID who it is, and it'll lead back to him. It may take a while,
Yeah,
but it's going to happen. Eventually,
yeah,
someone's going to open it.
yeah. That's very true.
If nothing else, it's going to start to smell really bad eventually. So, like, someone's going to have to open it to see what it is.
I'm not sure how far Chicago is from where he was.
Do we know where he
I
was?
yeah, but I don't know if he was. Well, I guess it must be like relatively close because it's not like this takes place over a couple of days or anything. But I assume part of it was that he would send it like so far away that they'd open it up and kind of be like, "Who the hell is this person?" And other than I don't know, cross-referencing it with missing persons, but if it's like so far away, if it might have trouble.
Yeah, I think if it's still in the country, it's not going to be that hard to solve. I feel like the ID who it is, right? You got, because it's not like she's that. I mean, she's cut up, but her face is still like there.
Yeah,
There's
true,
dental. There's all these things. They can do all these. I don't know. For me, it feels like it's ultimately not going to work. I feel like he was kind of screwed no matter what. Anyway, but hey,
yeah, probably buys himself a good like I don't know, couple of weeks, month maybe. Unless he was planning on like leaving the country or something soon after.
yeah. It didn't seem like he wanted to though. It seemed like he wanted to keep his life because he seemed obsessed with his job and like, his career and because I mean his biggest concern when she was going to leave him was that he'd look like a schmuck. That was the exact phrase. I'll look like a schmuck if my wife leaves me. I don't actually care if you're here or not. It's just it's all about my status. It's all about my the persona, the reputation I put out there.
That is very true.
That's the type of character he is. It was an okay episode though. Like I said, some of the segments were very fun. Most of the stuff on the train was fun. Him trying to talk around stuff. There's a lot of eating steak in this episode. It opens with him eating steak when he's having dinner with the wife, and then later on, train they're eating, and it was making me kind of hungry. Even though I'm not a fan of steak, this was really rare steak. I'm not a rare steak guy. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are quite frankly bigoted towards people who like their steak well done, but I'm sorry, I like my steak well done. What can I say?
Um, I'm not too picky. Like whatever is fine. I don't like it like I don't like it super rare, but I can take it.
Pickiness is a sign of intelligence, Tim. Just remember that.
Sure.
I'm sure I read that somewhere. I don't know. I like the sound of it though. Yeah, this episode's okay. It's not perfect. There's some contrivances. Like you say, the opening scene is worrying because you're like, oh god, is this going to be this love triangle and whatnot? Is it going to be him obsessed with finding out who the guy is? Luckily though, once it becomes into him covering up a murder, it becomes entertaining.
Yeah.
Not particularly original. The twist is a bit more original, but the rest of the episode's kind of that's typical. Okay, Tales from the Crypt with some fun moments, and then the twist that well contrived to make it work actually is surprising at the very least. So I'll give it that. I'll give it that much.
Yeah. And then it ends with the cop finding the trunk that he threw off and putting her down the garbage disposal, which doesn't seem like the best plan. I just had some recent trouble with my garbage disposal, and I don't think
the human bone.
Yeah.
The flesh maybe, but I feel like the bone is going to cause some trouble with the disposal.
Yeah, I mean, like eggshells can cause trouble for a garbage disposal. So
yeah,
human body.
Maybe he's like super rigged it. He's built his own, and it's like industry like caliber. Like this can crush anything. I don't know. I've always thought actually, if you're disposing of a body, not to get too morbid here, but like generally people, you cut up the body, like just keep cutting it up till like the bits are so small and unrecognizable that no one would even suspect that it's a part of a body.
That's true. Yeah.
You get a little bit of bone here, a little bit of flesh there. It doesn't necessarily look like it's from a human, unless like so. I don't know.
Isn't the thing like I thought this was in Breaking Bad or something. Like, aren't you supposed to like dissolve it in acid or something?
You say that as if there's like a guidebook, and this is what you're supposed to do to get rid of it. Yes, that would work, Tim. If you can source the acid to dissolve it, you could do that. I'm just saying, like most people can get access to a saw and can start cutting. Like it takes a bit of work.
That's true.
But
I have no idea where you'd get acid from.
yeah, I'm trying to think actually in Breaking Bad. He goes to a store to get it. I can't remember what sort of store he goes to.
And does he? I don't
Oh,
know.
it'll be like a hardware. It'll be it'll be something for building. It'll be
Oh,
yeah,
to like dissolvent or something.
yeah, construction or something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be places that sell that kind of thing.
Acid very important for construction.
Well, for parts of it, I'm not you know what I mean though. They'll use it for stripping walls or something like that. I don't know.
Or throwing in DA's faces.
Dear.
What? That's what they did to Harvey Dent.
Sure.
Oh, did you think his origin was that he fell and his face got burnt, like in The Dark Knight?
No. I'm well aware of what the canonical origin of Harvey Dent is in the comic books. Thank you very much, Tim. But it's sullied a little bit though because of the stupid Batman Forever version, where he literally holds a sheet of paper up against his face, and that's why only half of his face gets burned.
Oh, really? I haven't seen him forever. That's what he does.
He's got like a file, like a file in the court, and he holds it up at his face, and then the acid hits the side of his face.
That's one I feel like I cannot go back to that one. Like,
Oh God, no!
I can watch Batman and Batman and Robin and have fun with it, but Batman Forever is that's so bad.
Do you not like the Dark Knight version of his face burning?
No, I think the whole thing with the Nolan trilogy is it's like a little more, realistic or whatever, and it seems like a little more realistic approach than like mobsters throwing acid in someone's face feels like kind of old timey,
Yeah, no.
I don't think it'd work in Nolan. So
I kind of like it. I kind of it's kind of a natural way for only one side of his face to be burned. Is that he was
I think
kind
it
of
makes sense.
yeah. Behave. I don't know. My hesitation when you said that was just purely that I was not expecting some random reference to Harvey Dent.
Well, you're the one that brought up acid.
You brought up acid. You brought up Breaking Bad. Dissolving things. Oh dear, Timmy. Alright, so I guess that wraps up this week's Tales from the Crypt discussion. We'll be back next week with whatever the next episode is. Hopefully a good one. We could use a real winner. I really want a standout episode soon. It's been a while since we had one.
Have a little bit more Batman talk, a little bit more Breaking Bad updates.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. Hey, Joe, Breaking Bad turned 10 years old the other day.
Oh, congratulations.
It was its 10th anniversary of the premiere.
Oh.
We're getting old, Tim. We're getting old. In fact, speaking of Dark Knight's 10 years old this year.
Oof, wow. I can't believe that.
Yeah, that hits you in the gut, that one. Dark Knight's 10 years old. So anyway, that is us. So thanks for watching. Keep watching Scary TV. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz. Patreon.com/mailfuzztv if you want to support the channel. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. And we'll see you next time.